Okay, hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Embry. I am the brand ambassador here at Travel Media Group. I want to first thank everyone for taking the time to join me on this webinar this afternoon. Very excited to share this presentation with you all. Now, at the end of this webinar, we'll be providing my direct contact information in case you had any questions with the content that I'm going to be sharing today. You can also use the chat feature, which is located in your toolbar, to type any sort of questions or feedback. Now, I will be responding to those questions personally following the conclusion of the presentation. And also be on the lookout, since today's presentation and webinar will feature an interactive poll, and would absolutely love your participation in it. Now, we at Travel Media Group wanted to put this webinar together to really help hoteliers navigate the challenges that this global pandemic is causing for the industry as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started learning the 5 tips in managing your hotel's communication strategy for COVID-19. And the first tip is to connect with both guests and travelers utilizing social media. Now, we have heard a lot lately about the resiliency of our industry, and we have even cited some examples of past crises like 9/11 or the 2008 financial crisis. But one of the key differences that distinguishes where we are today in 2020 in comparison to where we were in 2001 or 2008 is the way that we are all using social media in our everyday lives. So leverage social media as a way to connect with your guests and your future travelers. This is the most critical time to be active on social media. People now more than ever are scrolling through their timelines looking for information and news. This is your opportunity to share business updates such as closures, policy information, or changes at the property that you've made. Give future travelers peace of mind by communicating the deep clean practices that are taking place at the property currently. Now, your social media can also be utilized as a local resource for your followers, sharing helpful posts like grocery store hours, pharmacies, and food delivery options. These are all practical information that your followers, guests, and travelers are going to appreciate. Get creative with your social messaging, perhaps recording a Facebook Live or Instagram Live, sharing how your staff is cleaning or what precautions your hotel is taking to ensure the safety of your guests, or just sharing inspirational messages. During these times, we are always looking for a distraction, and not all of your content has to be about this crisis. You can post content like top 10 Netflix series to binge or at-home exercise routines. Your followers are going to appreciate this break in news and headlines. And another welcome break in this time of crisis could be a post featuring an employee spotlight. People are publicly recognizing and appreciating those on the front line housing our healthcare workers. And it's these types of appreciation and gratitude posts that are generating a lot of positive engagement and traction online right now. But social media is also utilized as a communication tool. At this time where we are asked to practice social distancing, guests might not feel comfortable in coming to the front desk for requests or questions that they might have. Instead, encourage them to message you on Facebook or other social media channels to limit that face-to-face interaction. And lastly, if possible, do what you can to assist your local community. The entire hospitality world right now is hurting. If you're able, reach out to those restaurants nearby that might also be hurting. Maybe there's an opportunity for a partnership where you can provide menus for guests that are occupying your hotel for in-room delivery. It's these type of gestures that will resonate far longer than this virus will ever last. The next place that travelers are going to be looking for relevant and timely information about your hotel online is review sites. At this critical time in the industry, every rise or fall in occupancy percentage, it counts. The difference between 5 and 10 reservations could be a hotel's make or break. And at a time of peak consumer fear and anxiety, travelers are looking for any signal of peace of mind. Online reviews represent that opportunity. a chance for other travelers to share their experience to help encourage future stays. So if you are experiencing a dip in occupancy, that might present an opportunity to enhance your guest stay, whether it's offering a free upgrade or implementing policy changes to make that guest feel more comfortable during this stressful time. I've heard of some great ideas out there that hotels are practicing, like complimentary breakfast delivery, and some hotels even going as far as offering grocery store runs for their guests. It's these types of created changes that travelers will hopefully be writing about in their future reviews. But it's also the type of service that a guest will never forget. Also, now more than ever, you want to be asking your travelers why they are staying with you. These travelers are staying at your hotel for a reason, and at this stage of the crisis, it's an important one. Find out what that reason is. You can uncover patterns or trends that could help you identify ways to grow occupancy during a time of very low demand. And if you are serving your guests at an extraordinary level, ask them to share their story via an online review for your business. These are the times where the hotel industry can really show that we are more than just four walls and a bed, but we are people serving people. Which brings us to the next tip. At these uncertain times, the best thing we can do as hosts to our guests is be transparent, honest, and flexible. This presentation is about communicating and connecting with our guests and travelers, but not all communication has to be done through social media or other messaging channels. Simply cleaning visibly in front of your guests can communicate a lot and demonstrate that you are taking the necessary precautions to protect your guests. This type of transparency goes a long way in a time of fear and uncertainty. Be honest with your guests. Travelers might not know to what extent your business is hurting right now. People are much more willing to help in these dark times than you think. Now, maybe the most they can do for your business is leave you a positive 5-star review, but some might be willing to buy a gift card for future stay or refer your hotel to colleagues. We are at a point now where anything helps, but it's this honesty and humility that will get your business through these difficult times. Also, be honest with your employees. Do not forget, one of the biggest problems the industry was facing before this virus was finding employees to work at our hotels. You will need these loyal employees as your property starts to ramp back up again. So be a leader to your team by being upfront and honest with them about the hotel situation. And lastly, be flexible. Luckily, from the start of this crisis, brands and business owners alike have really taken a flexible approach with booking changes or even cancellations. This is not the time to be holding someone's feet to the fire. Anxious travelers will truly appreciate your flexibility and willingness to work with them, and could even lead to future business with you and advocacy for your hotel. Do not save $1 today that will cost you a customer for a lifetime. The next tip is to connect and communicate with travelers utilizing review response. Now, as we've mentioned several times in this webinar, what future customers are looking for right now is peace of mind about their upcoming stay. Now, personally calling every one of your guests over the phone and reassuring them, that might not be an option for you or effective. So you have to get creative on how to connect and comfort these concerned travelers. Now, one of the outlets that has opened up as a line of communication to future travelers is online review response. A well-crafted, thoughtful response to a review could be the thing that helps ease the fear of these potential travelers. So whether you're reinforcing cleaning procedures or explaining policy updates, these review responses are being read by your future travelers and are playing a very prominent role in their decision-making process. This is also the time to either start creating or start strengthening your hotel's voice online. Consistent and efficient messaging during this time is absolutely vital to your business. You want to make sure that your entire team is aware of how to handle questions, concerns, or comments shared by travelers at this unsettling time. And this is not the time to be using templates or copy-paste in your online review responses. And lastly, be timely and extremely accurate in your review responses. Travelers are being especially cautious right now about each and every decision they're making in their own lives, gathering as much information as possible and weighing the risk. They're using this type of decision making when determining whether to even go to the grocery store. So when they're looking at your hotel online, ensure they are not finding these unresponded traveler reviews or responses with grammatical errors or typos. This just cannot be the case if we want to continue to see travelers book with our hotel. And hoteliers also need to be aware that these reviews and responses during this time will be the first thing that travelers see when the industry starts to pick up and they start planning their vacations and their trips, which is a perfect transition to our fifth and final tip of the day. Be prepared for success. The old saying is success is 90% preparation and 10% execution. Now, although the future for how long this crisis remains unknown, what is unanimously agreed on is that things are going to get better. And when it does, there are actions that we can do today to get ready for the inevitable ramp up. Now, the first is to repurpose your energy, whether that's physical energy like conducting preventative maintenance for the property or performing deep cleaning in unoccupied room, or whether that's repurposing our mental energy by listening to hospitality podcasts, joining these educational webinars, or even online networking with industry experts. You cannot afford to stay idle during this time. Now, this is also a great time to start analyzing the past to start preparing for the future. If you've been too busy in the past to sit down and take a look at some of your hotel's hard data, now might be that time. Comb through some of your hotel's past online reviews. Take notes on any patterns or trends that you're noticing. This could be a clue on where to repurpose that energy towards. Maybe it's taking a look at your SOPs for the front desk to combat lower customer service scores. Or maybe it's something that requires a potential capital investment in the future, like tweaking your breakfast items a bit. Your reviews represent a blueprint for future hotel success. But you can also take a look at other data, like your hotel social media analytics. From there, you can identify important information, like who is following you, where are those people following you from, and what type of posts are they engaging the most with. This type of information can be extremely beneficial when you and your team start preparing for the fast ramp up of occupancy and ADR that we know will happen. And again, this ramp up of occupancy and ADR, it will happen. You've heard it before and you will hear it again many times over. This industry is resilient and we will overcome. We will be there to welcome those on the front lines today, and we will be there after to invite all back with the same hospitality and service that is at the foundation of the hotel industry. Now, with that being said, Travel Media Group is here to help. If you are a hotel out there that is having difficulty on knowing what to do, how to reach and communicate to your travelers, or simply just want to have a conversation to bounce some ideas off of, we are here for you in this time. We understand that we are all in this together as an industry, and that is the only way we're going to come out of this crisis together. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll to see if there are any hoteliers that need assistance. We can help you put together an action plan for your hotel to help support you through these challenging times. And I'll go ahead and share my direct contact information with you in just a second. Again, just a quick poll here. Would you like assistance with any sort of action plan or recovery plan during this time? And I know we had a couple people I see that joined a little bit later on the call. We are going to be having a recording sent out. You can always view our webinars and educational content on our YouTube page as well. So I'll give everyone a quick minute to, again, find that poll, engage in that. and then I'll be shortly sharing my personal contact information. Okay, perfect. So here is my direct contact information. If you feel more comfortable, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, we have been in the industry over 40 years, hotel vertical specific, so we know what type of challenging times these are. We're here for a resource for you. And we're going to be continuing to be a resource for you over the next couple months. This is part one of our 3-part series for COVID-19. Next month at April 28th, how to optimize market share when demand shrinks. If you're interested in registering for that, please go to our website and look up webinars. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join me. If you asked any questions, I'll be reaching out to you shortly, as well as if you answered that poll. Thank you again, and have a fantastic rest of your week.